Alright, so you've just bought a brand new gaming laptop from HP, but did you know that there are some settings that you can tweak and install a couple of apps that will make using the laptop a lot easier? I will be demonstrating on the HP Pavilion gaming laptop, but if you've got an HP Omen or Victus or pretty much any laptop from HP, the procedure will be exactly the same. Also, I will be covering both Windows 10 and 11 because Windows 11 is just around the corner. Anywho, let's start. Alright guys, the first and the most annoying thing I've noticed on this laptop is that the keyboard backlight keeps turning off after every 30 seconds. This happens even when the laptop is plugged in into the power. You'll see after a couple of seconds, the backlight goes off. Fortunately, there's a setting in the BIOS that you can change that will leave the keyboard backlight turned on all the time. Let me show you. So for this, open up the start menu, click on the power button and restart the laptop. Now, as the laptop posts, hit the F10 key until you see this message, and that will take us to the BIOS. Once we are in the BIOS, use the arrow keys to navigate to configuration, and from over here use the navigation keys to go down to keyboard backlight timeout. Press enter and set this to never. You can also set this to 3 minutes, but I prefer the backlight to be always turned on. And while you're at it, you also might want to enable battery remaining time. If you enable this feature, then the laptop will show you how long it will operate on battery. And if this feature is disabled, the operating system will only show battery life in percentage. By default, this feature is disabled, so you have to enable this. So once you are done, go to exit and save changes and exit. That's it. So after changing these two settings, you will see that the keyboard backlight remains turned on all the time. If you want to switch the backlight off, press and hold the Fn key and then F5. That will switch the keyboard backlight off. This is the brightest level, medium, and finally off. And additionally, now the laptop shows us how long the battery is gonna last. Now this is a gaming laptop, and one of the things that you should have on a gaming laptop is an on-screen display while playing games that shows you the CPU and the GPU temperature along with the frame rate, RAM usage, and your video memory usage. This is sort of essential because this lets you keep a track on the vitals of your notebook. Let me show you how you can get this. Okay, so for the on-screen display, we're gonna download and install MSI Afterburner. I'll include this link in the video description. So let's go ahead and download this. So it is a zip file, we're gonna directly run this. So just follow the on-screen instructions and install the software. Now to get the on-screen display to work, you will need to configure MSI Afterburner to actually show the on-screen display. So the first thing you should do is open up your start menu and make sure Riva Tuner Statistics server is running in the background. So click on yes. Now in MSI Afterburner, click on the gear icon to go to settings. Then click on on-screen display. So first off, set your toggle button. I prefer having F10 as my toggle button. Click on apply and then go to monitoring. Now from over here, you might want to select everything that you want to display in the on-screen display. So while gaming, we are using GPU 2, that is our NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3050. GPU 1 is the integrated graphics. So again, go back to monitoring and make sure that you enable it for GPU 2, not for GPU 1. Select GPU 2 temperature and enable this button, show in on-screen display. Now this will be shown in the OSD over here. And do this for whatever you want to see in the on-screen display. Okay, so I have selected everything that I want to see in the on-screen display. We're gonna click on OK, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Now let's launch a game and see if it works. So right now we don't see the on-screen display, but as soon as I press the F10 key, that will enable the on-screen display. So over here we have the GPU temperature, GPU usage, GPU clock speed, our video memory usage, CPU temperature, CPU usage, CPU clock, our RAM usage, and finally the frame rate. Now if you feel like the OSD is a little bit too big for you, you can go back to the Riva Tuner Statistics server and adjust the size from over here. So that will make the OSD a little bit smaller. But yeah, I think if you have a gaming laptop, you should absolutely have this on-screen display utility because this lets you keep a track of the temperature of your CPU and your GPU. Okay, so one thing I have noticed is that MSI Afterburner will keep on waking up the dedicated GPU. So you will notice the dedicated GPU tries to go to sleep, but it actually wakes back up. And you can see it action right over here. And once we quit MSI Afterburner and the on-screen display software, the dedicated GPU will successfully go to sleep and the laptop will disable it after a while. So there you go. So once you are done gaming, make sure to quit MSI Afterburner and the on-screen display software. And what we can actually do is go to MSI Afterburner settings and disable start with Windows so that it does not start with Windows, and we can do the same with the on-screen display software, disable start with Windows. So this being a laptop will disable the dedicated graphics card whenever you are not playing any video games or not doing any demanding tasks. So as you can see right now, the dedicated 3050 is disabled. It will automatically switch to the AMD Radeon graphics, which is the integrated graphics of the Ryzen CPU. But how do you know the dedicated graphics card is active? Because there's nothing that shows you that the dedicated graphics is enabled or disabled. Well, you can actually add this icon that will show you if the dedicated graphics is in use or not. So now if I launch a video game, you will see that this icon will change its color. So now that I have launched Dota 2, you will see that the color of the icon will change, and if I click on this, it will show which application is using the dedicated GPU. So this is a very useful feature. Let me show you how you can enable this. Right click on your desktop and then open up the NVIDIA control panel. Inside NVIDIA control panel, click on desktop and enable display GPU activity icon in notification area. So that puts this icon in the notification area, which shows you if the dedicated GPU is active or not and which applications are using the dedicated GPU. Very useful, right? The next thing we're going to do is add some useful icons to our desktop, which will give us direct access to our folders, control panel, and the network locations. So for this, right click on the desktop and select personalize. Over here, tap on themes, then click on desktop icon settings and enable all of these from over here and click on OK. And as you can see, this adds 4 icons to our desktop. So let me rearrange these. I do prefer the recycle bin to be over here. Now it looks perfect. So this one gives us access to our documents, downloads, music, pictures, and videos. This one gives us access to our PC, removable storage, and your PC's hard drive will show up over here. This one opens up the network locations, so it will show you all of the PCs that are on your network, makes it super easy to access them. And finally, the control panel icon. From over here, you can change any setting on your PC. To get desktop icons on Windows 11, right click on the desktop, select personalize, scroll down to themes, click on themes, scroll down again, then tap on desktop icon settings and enable all of these from over here. That's how you get desktop icons on Windows 11. One essential change you should make to Windows Explorer is enable ribbon. So open up Windows Explorer and then click on this little button, and that will open up the ribbon. So you do have a couple of stuff over here, cut, copy, paste. So this kind of makes organizing the files a lot easier. You can also change the color of Windows Explorer from white to black. This can be done by turning on dark mode, and this kind of reduces the strain on your eyes, especially if you are working on your PC at night. So the way you do this is by right clicking on the desktop, click on personalize, then tap on colors. Over here, change this option, choose your default app mode from light to dark. And as you can see, that will change all of the colors from white to black. And yes, this also changes the colors in the Windows Explorer. Now it looks really nice. If you want to turn on dark mode in Windows 11, right click on the desktop, select personalize, scroll down to colors. Now under choose your color, change this to dark. And that turns on dark mode on Windows 11, also makes the Windows Explorer dark. One thing I find quite annoying is that Windows will automatically hide the icons on our taskbar. So there's actually a way you can unhide all of these if you would like. Again, this is a personal choice. So if you want to see all of these icons, right click on the start menu, tap on taskbar settings, scroll down and select which icons appear on the taskbar and turn this on, and that will unhide all of the icons on our taskbar. And I'll say it again, this is a personal choice. If you want these icons to be hidden, you can turn this off or make individual icons appear in the taskbar. But I prefer all icons. Another thing that we're gonna do is hide the HP Support Assistant. You can always launch the Support Assistant from the Start menu. It is right over here. So right click on the Start menu, Toolbars, and disable HP Support Assistant Quick Access. So that will free up a little bit of space in our taskbar. By default, Windows does not show you the file extensions, so you don't really know what type of file it is unless you hover your mouse over the file, then it tells you it's an MP4 file or a quicktime.mov file. Now here's the problem. If the file extensions are hidden, you might end up downloading a hot image from the internet, but it turns out the image is actually an executable and a malicious file. So here's what I want you guys to do. Open up Control Panel, make sure View is selected to large icons, then tap on File Explorer options, then click on View, then uncheck Hide Extensions for known file types, and this will show you the file extensions, and this will easily let you identify what type of a file it is. This is an MP4 video, this is a QuickTime video, MP3 file, and a malicious executable that you might end up downloading from the internet. So enabling file extensions is a must on every PC. Now HP includes a lot of bloatware on their PCs. For example, you have ton of stuff over here that is pre-installed from the factory. So what we're gonna do is uninstall all the trialware, bloatware, and every app that is not necessary for the functioning of our laptop. Okay, so open up the start menu and start uninstalling apps that you are not familiar with. For example, I don't plan on using ExpressVPN. It's actually a 30-day trial, so I don't really want any trialware on my PC. So what we're gonna do is right click and uninstall. So this automatically opens up Control Panel and ExpressVPN is here, so we're gonna uninstall this. Now if you do plan on using these apps like ExpressVPN, if you have a subscription, then keep them. I've also noticed that there are plenty of pre-installed games, so all of these games are pre-installed by HP. I don't know about you guys, but I do prefer Steam when it comes to gaming. So all of these pre-installed games have got to go. Same procedure, right click, uninstall. And once again, this opens up the control panel. We will scroll down and uninstall Wild Tangent games. Okay, so I have uninstalled a total of 8 applications, 20 if you are counting the 13 games that were pre-installed. So yeah, that was a lot of bloatware on this computer. I've also uninstalled McAfee because again, that was a 30-day trial. To be very honest, the built-in Windows Defender is more than enough. You don't need an additional antivirus software to protect yourself from online threats. But if you feel Windows Defender is not enough, I would recommend getting Malwarebytes as a free antivirus software for your PC in case you don't like Windows Defender. So now that we have uninstalled all the bloatware, we can now go ahead and customize our start menu. So open up the start menu, and did you guys know you can actually expand this, make the start menu look a little bigger. So now over here you can pin your favorite application icons. So for example, I use Google Chrome a lot, so I will right click this and pin to start. And if you don't want a particular icon, right click and unpin from start. Okay, here's the final result. I've got the start menu customized as I wanted, so you can also give it names over here. So these are our office apps. Here I've got the weather widget. By the way, you can resize this, make it a little bit wide, and it will give you forecast right over here. And finally on top we have all of the HP stuff. So that's how you organize your start menu. Looks good, right? Now call me crazy, but I'm not a huge fan of the pre-installed media apps by Microsoft such as Film and TV and the Groove music player for the music files. I prefer a lightweight standalone media player that will play all the media files I throw at it. So for this, I recommend VLC Player. So go to this website, I'll put the link in the video description, and download and install VLC Player. And VLC is a free and open source cross-platform media player, and it will play pretty much any media file that you throw at it. So in my opinion, VLC is a much better media player than the built-in stuff that Microsoft gives you. So this is something that I prefer. Again, this is a personal choice. If you prefer using the modern Microsoft apps, then feel free to do so. Okay, so once you are done with everything that I've told you, the final thing you should do is run Windows Update. So click on this icon, go to Settings, scroll down, tap on Update and Security, then Windows Update, and click on Check for Updates. So we're already up to date, but you can see there is a big Windows update that is pending, feature update to Windows 10 version 21H1. So we will download and install this. Now in Windows Updates, you might want to go to Advanced Options and enable this feature, Receive Updates for other Microsoft products when you update Windows. So that will also give you updates for Microsoft Office. And if you are running Windows 11, click over here, then tap on the settings button, then click on Windows Updates and check for update. It is as easy as that. Okay, so after a restart, our Windows is now fully up to date. Alright guys, that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and do check out other tutorials. I have plenty of videos on PCs. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.